So I'm standing on my third floor balcony and the sky is cloaked with indigo clouds, and I look up with my camera and I see that. Now, how I know that that is the craft that they call the OUMUAMUA is because the whole sky, the whole sky opened, the whole sky was open, like whatever dome is supposed to be over or whatever. If there's a dome, it was like the whole dome was just off, and all this consciousness felt like the space, like the space, and all this that you see is indigo colored clouds. The sky is pure dark, pure blue, and I don't have my cursor, but right there you can see the craft, and then you can see, okay, well, now I'm pointing up above the building, and you can see right up above what how the sky is a fabric, how it's cloaked. That's the actual cloak. That's the fabric you can actually see. And then you can see the clouds right to the left at the bottom forming, even though the sky is already full of clouds. But that's the clouds that's going to close the part of the sky that the ship is in. But that's the clouds coming behind the building, which is already covered with clouds, but that's more clouds coming to close the part that's open. And then you see that ball. And right there, could you see where the ship is? And you can see that energy coming out, coming like pouring out. I don't have my cursor, but if you see where the ship is, and you can see an energy pouring out. And then you just look to the right, above to the right, there's a brown tinted um, energy, and a lighter tinted energy being is hanging onto it. Oh, and it just spat something. I don't want to rewind it because I'll go too far, but it just spat something at minute 13:10. So at minute 13:10, around that time, you can see it spit something. This being right here to the right is a brown tinted being, and then a lighter tinted being. And right here, you see where it goes up, the little brown, and then it has two big eyes, and then right hanging onto it is another entity that's light with big big eyes. And you see to the left at the bottom, these two like hands that look like hands, they they end up coming onto that
It's condensing itself right
ship.
here. But do you see how it moved away from the sky? And it can.
But do you see the two beings right here? There's the two beings, and you see the lighter being on the right, and it's hanging on to the brown one. It's kind of like how a koala bear will hang on to, like, to a tree, both arms and both legs wrapped around the tree. That's how
It's the
this
self.
being is.
That's the actual being. Look at
So the two
it. Look
beings
at it.
together, and they shape themselves into a heart. But you'll see that in a different part of the video.
See, it looks like it's opening up just for us.
But that sky right there is open,
It's clear.
like a dimensional openness.
It's
See
all
the whole sky. The whole sky is cloaked with clouds.
that's a whole thing.
And there's the being. You see the two beings right there? Can you see two of them?
It's got a person.
Now I want to put the whole video in another section. I'm just um, going over a little bit of what the video is about. But so I'm gonna go to the very beginning. This is a 20-minute video. I put 3 videos together because I had 3 different clips together. So I put them all together. But this is the beginning of it, and this is what the sky looks like. It's pure blue. That's pure indigo, or muamua. It's pure blue. And right where you see where it's lighter, if you look in there, those are open spaces of the sky, open dimension. You can see throughout all these clouds are alive. There's so much activity going on in these clouds. The clouds are, those lights are not lightning. Those are actual activity going up in the clouds. That's a whole city up in there. And if you zoom in, like if you watch this on a big screen TV, you will see all that's going on in these clouds. You see all kind of faces. All these clouds is pure dark blue and indigo. But when you look in the spaces where it's light, If you zoom in those places, you can see inside. You can see the clouds moving. You can see beings moving. You can see all kinds. You can see all kinds of um, you can see all kinds of things going on. I was trying to see if I can get this on pause. But this ball that I got with the camera, I mean with the phone, you can pause that yourself. But I was trying to pause it, but it's not letting me pause it. But so I'll post this video later. But going throughout this whole video is cloaked. But do you see how it's all cloaked? The whole dome that's on top of the whatever the dome thing is. Look right there. You can see if you zoom in right here. When you see where it's dark, but if you zoom in on the lights parts, you can see where there's activity going on. You can see things moving. You can see the clouds, the little pieces of clouds actually moving. The little pieces of this is all consciousness. This is like an entity that just came onto that just came, and it cloaked the whole sky. And there's all kinds of activity going on in each of those holes. Do you see that hole right there? All those open holes, that's open to the other side of the sky. Do you see that? Like all kind of stuff is moving in there. But I don't have my pointer, but you can just see, like if you're a person that studies the sky and want to study extraterrestrial stuff, you want to look at this and zoom in. And all the pieces that are open, you want to zoom in on all those places. And see, when I just looked up, that's how close it is. But the reason why it's so close is because the dome is off. No, I don't know, but that's what it feels like. And look at those faces in there. It smelled like it was the outer space. It felt like the outer space. It was eerie like the outer space would be. That's a whole ship that just came and shown itself. And then there's beings coming out. And then there's every little piece has some type of activity going on. But I only wanted to post a piece of this. You see that entity right there? Do you see how it's hugging at the top to the right? At the top to the right. And do you see how that fabric is? That's the sky above. That's above my building. That's the sky. You can see two eyes at top, like that's one of the gray-eyed beings, big-eyed beings. And then to the left, you can see clouds starting to form, even though the sky is already completely full of clouds. But that cloud is forming to close the part of the sky that the ship is in. Do you see how it's above? I have my phone pointed above. But those clouds are forming to close the part of, to close that part. I'm assuming. I don't know why there's clouds. Maybe it's cloaking the building. I don't know. I don't know, but it's over the building. And then this starts to close. And do you see those two hands to the left? That's about to, I think, the cigar-shaped ship is going to go into those hands, which is probably a ship, but it goes into it later on. That's all consciousness. You see that being on the right? It's two beings, two big beings right there, but there's a whole bunch of other beings in the sky. They're everywhere. But these are the two that came out and turned itself into a heart. See, it's a heart. To the right, if you can kind of see that it's a heart, but if you watch the video, you'll see where it turns into a heart. But you see how blue it is in the back? It was so dark blue, but my camera isn't picking up the blue. But it was the brightest, the most darkest and brightest at the same time, beautifulest indigo color ever seen in my life. But you see how it's shaping like a heart to the right, top. And then there's a being coming out of that heart on the right bottom. It dropped down, but it's invisible, but you can see it if you're looking at it. And back to the ship is the sky is starting to close. Those two things that I thought were hands, that look like hands, they're starting to eat the ship cloak the ship back up. The ship, I guess, is going to be going into those two hands. I don't have my cursor, but, and do you see that little head that's in this cloud, little heart cloud? That head is looking towards the ship now. It was looking the other way. This actually looks like, to the right, it looks like a tier, those boats that have tiers on them, because Vegas is a tourist town. So it kind of looks like it's a big ship that's cloaked in clouds with their tiers, like at the top, first level, second level, third level. So it looks like three-tier ship with beams on it, because you could actually see energy. You could actually see beams hanging over that top white rail and then the second top rail. You understand what I'm saying? Even though I can't point to it, but it reminds me of a ship driving by with beams on it, just waving. And I'm just sitting on the balcony, just sitting there, and they're just waving and stuff, driving by. I'm like, where y'all going? Look how beautiful blue that is. That beautiful blue is the sky, the real sky. But all the darkness, we don't see dark right here. But and do you see how it's starting to close back up? It's starting to close. Thank you for watching.